Joy to the world. Hey guys, this is George from Dallas, Texas. Tonight I'm gonna bring Deuce Nyachae. He's based in Buffalo, New York. We're gonna talk about, it's a Christmas Eve tonight. We're gonna talk about how to live a purpose-driven life. He's a professional speaker. He's a life coach. He's a trainer. So tell a friend, invite a friend. I'm gonna invite here Coach Deuce here in a second. This is gonna be very interesting show here tonight. So guys, let me call Coach Deuce here. He is again, motivational speaker, a life coach, and a trainer. This is a Christmas Eve special. We're gonna talk about how to live a purpose-driven life. We're gonna talk about the Christmas. We're also gonna talk about how to avoid drama in our lives. And many other stuff like politics and stuff like that. So don't you go anywhere. Let me invite him. If you have a friend you want to tag, please invite them to these broadcasts. So Coach Deuce, he's here as we celebrate this Christmas Eve.
Hey, champ.
So hey, how you doing, my friend?
I'm doing better than awesome, my brother. How are you?
I'm good. Good to see you.
Likewise, man. You looking fabulous.
Yeah, share the video if you can. Can you hear me very well?
Yeah, I'm actually, I got my computer here. I'm actually sharing on
Okay. Let me try to maybe turn the volume here up a little bit on my side. Hang on, guys. I hope everybody's having a good Christmas Eve tonight. I got Coach Deuce here. He's based in Buffalo, New York. He's a speaker. He's a life coach. He's a trainer. This is going to be exciting, and I'm looking forward to talk to him tonight. I see my co-host there, Guitar Munge. Share the video in different forums, please. I tried to call you earlier, but you didn't pick up the phone. All right, guys. Hey, Sheriff Bonnie, karibu sana. Yeah. How you guys doing? Good. I hope we can get started here. Coach Deuce here. How are you doing?
I'm doing awesome, man.
That's good. Yeah. Did you go to church today, or are you gonna go to church tomorrow?
I did. I went to church. It ended like at 2:00 p.m., but it was just phenomenal. It was phenomenal.
Oh, that's good. I skipped mass today. You know, I have some few other stuff that I have to take care of. I worked last night, but hopefully tomorrow I'm gonna make it to the mass. It's all good. Yeah.
Do you guys do midnight service, or is it just early morning and then you spend time with family?
It's early morning mass.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Cool.
Yeah, Paul Russia, join the show. So tonight, guys, I got Coach Deuce here. His name is actually Nyandusi Nyachae. He's based in Buffalo, New York. He's a speaker. He's a trainer. He's a life coach. We're going to talk about some different aspects of our lives here. We're going to talk about a little bit about the Christmas. We're going to talk about how to live a purpose-driven life. We're also going to talk about how to cope, with negativity, avoiding drama in our lives, and leading that life which is full of the social positivity. Coach Deuce here, I'll let you invite you to introduce yourself to my viewers, please.
Well, greetings, everybody. My name is Nyandusi Nyachae. I am Kenyan by descent. Everyone knows me as Coach Deuce, professional speaker, coach, and trainer. And I live here in Buffalo, New York, about 15 minutes away from Niagara Falls with my beautiful queen, Tiffany, who's from Buffalo. I'm just excited. I know we're going to talk a whole bunch about a lot of different things. But I'm just excited to be here on the Prudentials Show. I consider it a privilege, and I'm humbled and just ready to serve. That's really what I want to do today, is to serve. And if there's one person that can get value from everything, even just one little thing, then I've done my job. If not, I'm just excited to be connected to all of you.
Oh, that's good. Coach Deuce, if you can tell us where you're from in Kenya, where did you go to school? Where did you grow up, place?
Well, I grew up in Nairobi. I think it's Westland's constituency, right? So Gigiri area, right? I would say almost opposite Village Market. In Nairobi, in Gigiri, I lived there virtually almost all my life. I moved here when I was 17 in 2003, January 10th, 2003.
Oh, that's good. Where did you go to school?
I went to here in the U.S. or in Kenya?
Oh, in Kenya.
I went to Peponi Preparatory School in Kabete, and then I went to Peponi Secondary School in Ruiru.
Okay, so you are just close to my neighborhood there in Kenya. Yeah. That's good. And if I'm not mistaken, you come from your grandfather is a renowned politician, Simeon Nyachae, right?
I'm only laughing because every time people ask me that, yeah, I'm grateful. I'm grateful to be grandson of Simeon Nyachae. Yeah.
Okay, and I know he has so many sons and children. Who's your dad? If you can tell the viewers. Not putting it up last.
Now, you know what? Let's just get the cat out of the bag. I think if it's okay with you, because we've had that discussion. I'm not big on politics, and I think it's a distraction from people. But here's the thing: all of us should be proud and privileged that we have parents who poured into us, and I am because of those. So my dad is Charles Nyachae, who I'm proud.
Okay, there you have it. That's pretty good. Yeah.
I don't know how to say all of that.
It's a privilege and an honor to have you on the Prudentials Show. So tell us what you do professionally. What do you do?
Well, right now I'm I have a full-time job actually as a education specialist. I help students be college career ready. My education background in business and higher education was what I went to graduate school for, and then over time, 2010, I began my journey as a professional speaker and a life coach and trainer, certified with under the #1 leadership expert in the world, John Maxwell.
Yeah, and I have seen some of your clip, and you're really good. And if you haven't followed this guy, you should. And you're gonna talk about that. He's on Facebook, Instagram, and he share about different topics, and he's very talented with what he speaks. And how long have you done this? If you can tell the viewers about that, Coach Deuce.
Well, professionally since 2010, that's when I founded I started the vision, and then I guess I started the business officially in 2011. But I've been a student leader. When I was in college, undergraduate, I was a student leader, and I found myself being an advocate for others. And so I was on many platforms speaking and empowering others. And it's just been evolving over time.
Yeah, I can tell you you're very good at what you do, because I've picked up some few points or 2 points there in your clips. And I want to applaud you that this evening for the great work you're doing. And if you can tell the viewers, why did you pick up to be a speaker? There are so many jobs here. You're privileged enough, maybe you could have gone to medical school. You could have gone to any other like financial or something. Why did you pick up this specific career?
Well, there are two most important days in your life: the day you were born and the day you found out right? And for me, this career is as a result of my purpose, right? I know a lot of people may not know this, but if you go to my website and on my Facebook business Facebook page, my becoming a speaker and coach is as a result of a long journey. Growing up and going through a lot of challenges and then crossing the bridge and now living an inspired and transformed life. I found myself just on a regular basis encouraging other people. I found myself being a coach or a mentor, if I, for lack of a better term. And I found myself, just being in platforms where, obviously, I told you I was, in college campus. And I remember clearly in 2010, actually, the way I found out my career and purpose, I was at one of the lowest times in my life in the fall of 2010, where I had just graduated in graduate school. I got married 2 weeks later. And then, like many people, especially Kenyans, you find yourself where you're trying to look for a job that matches your, I guess, the education that you've received. And so I found myself being challenged because I didn't have all the work experience, if you must. And so as a result of, due to my faith, prayer, and just seeking out God, I felt a sense that I should, because I was always entrepreneurial, I felt a sense that if I was to do something for the rest of my life, it would be to encourage people, to inspire, equip, and empower people. And then all of a sudden, like I shared with you, I did not know what a motivational speaker per se is, or a professional speaker. But what happens is, I guess, they call it the law of attraction, or, when you take that step, doors just begin to open, and not just doors and opportunities, but even wisdom. So wisdom led me as I continued going on the journey to realize, wow, I can not only make money out of this and make a career and make a living, but it happens to be also not only my passion, but it also happens to be one of the highest paying careers that you could ever be in. So I was like, wow, I love what I do. I'm changing lives, but I can also make a lot of money doing it.
Wow, I think it takes a very special person to do what you do, because I've done a little bit of research, and public speaking and professional speaking is not easy. It's to me, I think it's one of those things. You have to be talented in doing that. And we applaud you tonight. And the other thing I was going to ask you, many people, they think you need a professional speaker, a life coach, or trainer, only when you're going through stuff. Maybe you're going through divorce, you're going through like some challenges in your life, you're trying to know who you are as a person. And actually, we all do need life coaches or mentors, or, so to speak, public speakers in our lives. If you can expand on that.
Well, when I got my certification, I had been speaking for a long time before I got my certification in 2015 with the John Maxwell team. Like I said, it's the #1 leadership company in the world, as well as the top coaching company. And there's a quote that I learned from our coaching coach, if that makes any sense, the person who teaches us how to be authentic coaches. And he shared a famous quote from Carl Jung, who was a famous psychologist. He said, until you make the unconscious conscious, it will rule your life and you will call it fate. And so basically he said, that unless you are aware of yourself and constantly becoming more aware of yourself, your potential, your shortcomings, your strengths, your opportunities, you are not going to be able to move forward in the direction that you aim to go. So I say that to say, a coach and a mentor and a speaker, if you get when you get the opportunity to go to seminars, they will help you elevate yourself and take yourself to a level you've never been. How do I know that? Because if you look at every successful team, the Bills just lost to the Patriots, which sucks, right? But why? Because Belichick is the coach that knows how to create winners, right? And so the Patriots have been elevated in their level of awareness to become better football players, or the best, has been elevated because of the coaches around them. So I say that to say, we live in a society where a lot of people have a lot of latent potential that's not been, that's not been used because they don't have a coach and a mentor and a trainer to take them to the level. Sorry.
Wow, that's good. Let's talk about this Christmas or Advent season, as we call it as Catholics. If I go down the street looking here at my window, the streets are lit. It's beautiful. Each and every other house, they're singing the Christmas carols, and it's good. We always try to think about the positive stuff on Christmas time, but we always tend to forget those people who have been wounded by others. If you have any message for those people who are grieving, they have gone through some challenges, they have been wounded by others, what would you tell them during this Advent season?
Well, first and foremost, I think we live in a society where everybody's moving fast-paced, and so first of all, I would apologize on behalf of those that seem to look like they have everything together. I would apologize for sometimes not always taking time to love on whoever it is, whether it's your family member, the members of your community, just people in general. But I would also encourage our brothers and sisters who are going through some sad times, some times of disappointment, that, and I'll just be very transparent because it's who I am. We have a God who loves us unconditionally, who can give us that peace that surpasses all understanding, a God who can give us strength. And so in this moment, I just pray that not that they would do much, but that God would do much in them, and that God's love would cover them, and that they would have the strength to get up again. Because I've had moments where I can go on and on where, I've had bad Christmas times and you feel like you're alone, and even have thoughts of suicide. But I want to encourage them that our God is faithful. God is always faithful, not because we are, but because He is.
Wow, that's a powerful message right there, Deuce. The other thing I was gonna ask you is American culture and the Christmas season. I know many people, they just open the gift tomorrow morning, and that's it. But we do have a deeper meaning of the Christmas. Many of us who have come from Kenya, the Christmas is not what we see here in the United States. My wife came up with something very special this morning, and she said, let's open the gift today on 24th. We don't have to wait until tomorrow. And I'm trying to teach my kids, Christmas is not about the gift giving on Christmas Day in the morning. What is your take on the Christmas, in American culture?
Well, is it okay if I also say that I think in Kenya we do, although we do go to church and everything, I think we do have our perspectives wrong. It's just that it looks different because people spend a lot of money on Christmas.
They do,
and all that. But what I would say, I think we live here in America a lot of times where we're so caught up on getting to that next level.
Yeah.
And even if it means you know, whatever we've got to do to get to that next level, we lose sight of what's important. And it's sad and it's unfortunate that it's on Christmas Day or it's on Easter that everybody kind of has a ceasefire. But then after Christmas, we end up getting to this point where we're back to like bickering and negativity. And so I think Christmas allows us to take time and reflect and realize the reason for the season. Christ came onto this earth, whether we're, you know, people are religious, spiritual, of faith or not of faith. It's still a positive message that there was someone who came onto this earth to unify others through love. And I think that if you're just so focused on giving your kids toys or giving other people toys, then although it's great to give those who don't have it, then we lose sight. But I think one of the things that I'm learning even for this Christmas is that we just take time and be present with those that matter. And I think that's the best gift that you could give people, more than just toys. And I think yeah.
Wow, that's pretty good. Let's talk about the mentorship. And most people, I don't know whether you have experienced this. This is my own opinion. It doesn't have to be true. Many people from Kenya, Uganda, Nigeria, generally Africans, they're very educated who are here, who have been successful academically. And we have doctors here, we have engineers here, and we tend to read books just to pass exams, but we actually don't read books that can inspire us. Tell us the last time, even me, I'm not even into this, I read a book which can inspire me, you know. Why is that? Why are we looking to read the books which help us, you know, professionally, but we don't look for the books out there which can maybe to nourish us and enrich us, and they can help us, you know, in this journey called life? What is that? We don't, you know, read the inspiring books.
Yeah, I think and there's I don't know if you've ever heard the saying that a lot of people have more degrees than a thermometer, but as far as wisdom, they lack. But I think again, it goes back to the whole element of people trying to get to that next level financially. They're getting an education so that they can make money, so that once they have money, of course, they're going to take care of their family, right? And I think there are a lot of people who genuinely do. But most of the time, it's even with the family, they're just doing it so that they can feel a sense of status, so that their ego can be boosted up. But they do not invest in themselves, right? And I think the greatest investment you can invest in yourself is your personal and professional development. Things that like your attitude, your character, your leadership ability. I know we're going to talk about politics, but the reason why a lot of politicians suck is because they have more degrees than a thermometer, but they lack servant leadership ability. So when you pick a book and you read and you learn, you know, from the 21 Immutable Laws of Leadership, you learn for example, the law, you know, you can only lead people based on your level of effectiveness. And so we read so that we can grow, because you cannot give what you do not have. And so books enable you to that. So a lot of people have a lot of head knowledge, but aside from that, there's nothing else that they have of value to give. Yeah,
there's something Wairimu Kimani here, she think is funny, and she's kind of piggybacking that, you know, the comment we had just made. A lot of people have, you know, more degrees than a thermometer, but have a zero wisdom. And she's saying LOL, like, it's true. It sounds funny, but it's actually true. You know, you have these people with degrees, doctors, you know, PhDs, but they don't have any wisdom. It's because we don't have anybody to inspire us. We don't focus on the stuff that can really, you know, inspire us, on this spiritual journey, so to speak.
Yeah.
And I think that's a very good, a point you brought up. If you can tell us some of the books, I know you have just shown us one of the books there. We can, you can recommend. We can look if you go to a bookshop.
Sure.
Tell us give us some of the nuggets, some of the books we can be able to read. Yeah.
This is the Bible of leadership, 21 Irrefutable Laws of Leadership. It's the most popular leadership book in the world. Very easy read, very enjoyable. In fact, there's a Kenyan who is a very well-known coach in Jersey, and his name is Njeru, and his life was transformed working for Kenya Airways in South Africa, and he flew all the way to North America just to meet this man, and ever since then his life was transformed.
What is his name again?
Njeru.
Okay, but who is the author of that book?
John Maxwell,
the author.
I was telling you guys I got certified.
John Maxwell, right?
Yeah. 21 Irrefutable Laws of Leadership. So that's leadership. Think and Grow Rich. I've probably read this book and even the other books. This is the bread and butter for wealth, if you want to read, and it teaches you a lot on the mindset of wealth. Not so much how to make money, but how to have the mindset to make money. Because the problem is, a lot of people, even Kenyans, we know how to make money, but do we know how to keep money so that it can keep going for generations? There's that. I'm reading this, The Power of Right Believing by Pastor Joseph Prince. It's a good spiritual book. I just have a couple more. Actually, there's a book
Jeff
by
Koinange. I love him. Yeah, he's good.
Yeah, he I don't know what people's opinions are of him. I like him, and I've had an opportunity to meet him and just to learn about people's journeys. You grow by learning about people's journeys. So
Deuce, you actually met him a few weeks ago in Kenya, right? Jeff Koinange,
yeah,
right?
Yeah, we got to hang out and we're talking about mentorship and coaching, right? And there are three types of mentors, right? There's the mentor that you meet just randomly. There's a mentor who just shares from the experience, and then there's a mentor from afar, like Nelson Mandela can still be our mentor.
That's good.
I got to ask him some questions, which was awesome. The Empowered Communicator. That's this book, for example, is a book on my profession, mastering my craft. A lot of people get a degree and they get the job, but they stop mastering their craft. So this is my craft. And hopefully, you're in the medical world, you have your book that's for your craft so that you can be even more of value. So that, and then last one, I won't show all of them.
Oh my God. Yeah. I'm feeling inspired right now. So Deuce, can you please, after the end of this broadcast, if you can write all these books and the others so we can look for them. Maybe there's somebody who's just going to gain something out of these broadcasts. They might be willing to read some of those books. Yeah. If you can be able to, share some of those books, and I think that would be very helpful, and we appreciate you for that.
And I will. And I just wanted to share too, for those who are concerned about making more money, if you can feed your mind will attract your mind. If you feed your mind and your thoughts and your character grows, you will begin to attract money. Too many of us are chasing money, but I want to attract money. So yeah,
that's that's my next point. There's this thing called the insatiable appetite of money and craving of money. Sure. Versus personal development. Many people, they are looking for money, running after money, but we actually don't, seek for personal development. What is that? And if you can give us some of the nuggets, how we can be able to, you grow, and the personal development, I think it should come first before you even talk about, the money, because I think. I don't know whether it's African culture or American culture. Everybody's just have this money craving. If you can speak to the money craving versus the personal development place.
Here's here's a simple way to put it. Your money can't take you where your character can't keep you. Let me repeat that. Your money can't take you where your character can't keep you. So what you've got to do if you want to keep making more money, right?
Mm-hmm.
You've got to keep building your character, becoming someone of value, a man of valor, or a woman, you know, full of wisdom, right? So I think a lot of times our priorities are in the wrong place, and because it's easier to chase money. It's easier to just go work. But the problem is if you continuously just going work, all of a sudden what's going to happen is you may make that money, but you won't keep it, or you will start becoming destructive because your character, which is supposed to be the covering for you with everything, every aspect of your life, you're going to start losing integrity because now your personal growth isn't there. And on top of it, you know, as far as personal development, building relationships, right? If you want to make more money, you've got to learn how to build relationships. If there's anything I know that's of value of someone is to learn how to connect with people, to build relationships, to learn to get into a person's heart. And then the money, you know, like I said, the money's going to, in fact, no, not the money's going to follow you. The money's going to chase after you. And on top of that, obviously, when you've got the connection with God, you're a believer. So I don't know why we all get caught in trying to chase money.
Wow, that's good. If you haven't told your friend, you better invite them to come and see this broadcast because this is very inspiring as this Christmas season. I was gonna ask you, and I'm gonna focus this mainly in Kenya. There is this, and I don't want to get too political, but I just need your opinion on this. There is these people in Kenya. It's just the hunger for money, you know. The poor, they are becoming poor. The gap is so wide. The people, they are becoming so rich. The politicians and the common mwananchi is becoming very poor. And why is this, you know, African nations, and to be specific in Kenya, they have that, you know, we lack these, the middle man or the common mwananchi, you know, in the picture because it's either you're poor or you're rich. If you can speak about that.
Well, again, and I'll even tie it to personal development. You look at how everything, there's a saying that everything, actually it's the most important saying in leadership. Everything rises and falls on leadership, right? So yeah. If you look at the quality of leadership, and I'm not being political, I'm not affiliated with any party or support any party, but if you look at the leadership of a community, of a county in Kenya, of you know, of a nation, it's a cultural thing that has been built down, right? Now yeah. Here's the problem in Kenya, right? We have been so caught up with chasing emotions and chasing people who have money rather than chasing people with character. So what happens is, because I remember telling people, if people, you know, if we learn how to vote people who don't necessarily have the money, but they, you know, but they have the character, what's going to happen is that those people with character will take everybody else up with them. So what happens is the reason why there's so much poverty in Kenya or in Africa is because we as members or citizens of Kenya have enabled leaders to just continue getting greedy. And when it comes to election season, we say, well, there are two horses, what can we do? But here's what Gandhi said, change starts with me. So I didn't vote in 2013, and I didn't vote this year. I was here. But here's what and I didn't even have a motivation to vote. But here's what I'm going to say. If I voted, I would have probably voted for the person with the most character, who probably didn't have the most influence, because I knew if I made the right decision, maybe one person may have noticed me doing that, or may have knew that I was going to vote for this less popular person. And then as I led by example, I changed. So I say that to say, if we develop a culture where people who we vote for are people of character rather than people who just have a whole bunch of money, there's no telling where we can go. So we have to stop saying, oh, Kenya, it's not time yet for a good leader. The good leader is there. The question is, are we willing to be courageous to be different from everybody? And then all the poverty issues will change.
Wow. You say you have never voted. I have never voted in Kenya. I left there as a very young man, and I've been there, I think, twice for the last 16 years. But I remember when I went there 2012, I was talking to the people, you know, in my village, and I was kind of shocked. People up to this day, they're given like 50 shillings, 200 shillings just to vote for somebody. And I was driving that message home: don't sell your vote. You cannot do that, because what you're doing is you're ruining the future for your kids and your grandkids. And I think you brought up a very good point. And that's why we're seeing a very big gap between these rich politicians and, you know, the common mwananchi. And that's very, 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 very sad. There's so much negativity. If you look at the TV, if you look on Facebook, if you look on Instagram, everywhere, how do we, how can you advise us on coping with some of the issues that can lead us to live a purpose-driven life, avoid all this drama in our lives, all these negativities? Because for sure you have seen, especially during the political season, so much negativities. People will just say anything, you know. How can we be able to live a purpose-driven life and avoid all these dramas in our life?
Well, twofold. There's a lot of ways, but I'll give you two. Number one, when you have purpose, when people know their purpose, and that's a whole nother topic, right? When people know their purpose, they're focused. And when they're focused, they don't have time to pay attention to all the negative energy that's there, right? The reason why we get consumed with a lot of negative energy, negative people, is because of a lack of focus or a lack of purpose, sorry. Because people are focused, but they're focused on the wrong things. So a lack of purpose. And when you watch someone who's has purpose, I always say there's a quote: someone's opinion of me does not have to. I'm sorry. What other people think about me is none of my business. That's just one. Like people negative to me. So focus on your purpose causes you to not be distracted by all the nonsense that's around you. Number two is your circle, right? We just allow anybody into our circle, and if you allow that just anybody into your circle, you could allow bad seeds to come into your circle, and so that bad seed starts to destroy everything around. So it's so important to have your inner circle. I don't need no more friends, right? I need quality friends. I don't need quantity. I need quality. And because I have quality, I'm grateful to say that my stress level is not as high as most people, and I'm saying I'm humbled by, you know, God giving me that. But also because I have a circle of people who are just positive. And the only time that I've got into negative energy was because I was not focusing on my purpose.
Wow, you have said it. You only focus on quality, not quantity. That speaks volume, and that's pretty good. Let's talk about the social positivity. What do you understand by that term?
I love that term. I never heard of it, but I'm going to steal it and run with it. So I'll give you credit.
Yeah.
Social positivity. I think when I hear that term, I think a communal, an environment or a community whereby people are driven by positivity. People are driven by empowering one another. A society where people are driven to put the other first before them, servant leadership. And I think I've seen it before. I've seen environments where, communities where people are focused on positivity, and they also have boundaries where, if there's accountability to where if there's negative energy, certain people are being held accountable. So I think, yeah, I think if I answer.
And how do we cut these people with so much negative energy? I know you're married. Maybe somebody, one of your friends, say, "Oh, your wife look this and this. She should be like that." Your coworkers, your supervisor is like this and this.
Yeah.
You should have a super. How do we cut all this drama and this negativity? How do we cut them off?
It's
Give us some nuggets. Yeah.
It's easy. So I'm gonna give you guys this for free. The only reason that's happening is because not only you're allowing them, but a lot of times you are the company you keep. You attract who you are. So if you want to avoid or to not have those people around you or saying those things, become that person that wants to be positive. Become that person that wants to do good. Become that person who's always exuding positive energy. And guess what? Number one, people who are negative will not want to be around you, right? They'll actually run away from you. That's what happened to me when I started to go on this journey. And then number two, you're going to attract positive people in your environment. So change you, and you will change that environment.
Wow. So is it true like the positive attract positive? Is it?
It's true.
Okay.
Yeah.
That's good. And you have had it there from Coach Deuce. Let's talk about the environment. What is the conducive environment? Is it church? Is it seeking mentorship? Is it hanging with people like you who are motivational speakers? What is an ideal conducive environment for personal development and growth?
I think it's simple for me. An environment where you are finding yourself, growing, where you're not the smartest person in the room, where there are other smarter people, not only smarter, and I'm not talking about degrees on, head knowledge. I'm talking about people with wisdom, people who are lifting you up, people who want to see you become better than you currently are right now. So that could be in the church. And the reason why I started from that point is because there are churches where people are not growing, right? So, but if you're in an environment, that's why I gave that context. So it could be in a church. Seminars. I've gone to a lot of personal growth seminars. Bookstores. You meet a lot of people like that. I have friends and people that we've gotten together on a regular basis, and whether it's reading a book together, whether just masterminding together. So just an environment where there are people who not only are wiser than you, that you're growing, but people that you're constantly edifying each other.
I think that's very true, and I can attest to that. I think it's trying to turn something positive. Like, look at the social media. All you see is not very conducive environment for personal growth. But I have tried to make sure I'm going to bring substance on social media, on Facebook Live. Bring people like you who can be able to talk to people. And I think that's one way of a conducive environment of reaching to people who want to be helped. And I was going to ask you if you have like a WhatsApp group. You can add me there. I want to be part of that group that, feel like they want to grow, I'm looking for that, and I'm hungry for that personal development. So in a WhatsApp group, you can join.
I'm not.
Yeah.
I started off using WhatsApp group, especially a unique one for Kenyans. But I think the Facebook group is. I have a Facebook group, the Coach Deuce family, and Coach Deuce family East Africa, North America, for those who are Kenyans living here. But yeah, so I can put the link, in the bottom. But I would say even beyond that is, you know, I have my Facebook page, my business Facebook page, where every single day I'm constantly just wrestling on ways to keep people inspired, to keep people equipped and empowered. You know, my Instagram page, I will do a video. At times, people don't know this. I put videos where, you know, I'll put a whole bunch of things with captions or whatever. It could be a 1-minute video that I spent an hour and a half just editing so that I could serve people. So, you know, my Instagram, Coach Deuce, Facebook, Nyandusi Nyachae Coach Deuce. Yeah, but then for Kenyans, and the reason why I was cautious about the Facebook group is, I want to be around people who want to grow, and I'm guessing the people around here want to grow. So, you know, in that group, the group where we're going to tackle a lot of you and a lot of me, you know, and I get the opportunity to share some things in the close community. One of the things that I've been praying and doing and seeking to do is to build this family of Kenyans, right? Because that's I started off, I'm a child of Kenya. So if anything, I want to build a huge community of Kenyans who will be empowered so that they can empower their family, their community, and their country. So I guess right now we're starting with the Facebook group.
Yeah, and I want to say this, and I'm not trying to be negative. We need to be enriched. We need to read books that can inspire us. We need to be watching and listening to this forum. If today, for instance, I put this headline here, George Bobo is calling out somebody who was being mean to him. Lily Richards from Kwitu is cursing some of the ladies. This video will be having around 200 people watching this.
Sure.
You know, 2 people are fighting here in Dallas. The Dallas promoters are like, you know, going at each other. That headline right there, it will bring a lot of attention to these broadcasts right here as we speak.
Yeah.
But we're so much attracted to the negativity. But when you have like something positive to talk about, we actually have very few people who are willing actually to benefit from that. And I'm urging people, read a book that can inspire you. Watch these forums, even this video, share. You're here with Coach Deuce. He have give us some nuggets of how to live a purpose-driven life. So mine is just to say, I think we need people like you more often to come here and share with us some of those, you know, nuggets that we don't, you know, get to hear. So, and I know we're coming too close to these broadcasts, but many of us, we wake up to these jobs we don't like. I'm not even into that. I have woke up to job like, I don't want to go to work. I hate it. What is it up with us? We're waking up every morning to these jobs we don't like. What can we do about it? If you can talk about that.
Can I just share, you were saying about the, and I know we trend,
yeah.
But I was just going to share, you know, I remember Martin Luther King, a lot of people may not know this, but started with a small group. And so, you know, I think if there are a lot of people here who have that inspirational spirit like we do. And if they just keep doing it, then the butterfly effect will happen. So I truly believe that. But if you hate your job, right, they say most of heart attacks happen on Monday morning because people hate their jobs. Twofold. Number one, if you hate your job, you've got to ask yourself, why do you hate your job, right? Is it because the fact that, you know, you just have a lot to do or you're getting overwhelmed? So maybe you love your job, but your priorities are not in the right place. But if you genuinely hate your job and you don't want to be there, it's as simple as leaving that job. And I know people are like, well, but I have to pay the bills. There's wisdom on how to go about changing your job, right? But again, here's the thing. Do you want to be that person who will say, I wish I had? Or do you want to be that person in the future that says, I'm glad I did? Because every single decision we make right now affects everybody who is connected to us. So If you hate your job, January is coming. You need to be looking for no, not even looking for applications. Sit, reflect, and ask yourself, what do you, and once you discover what exactly do you want in alignment with your purpose, then you begin to do everything that's connected to that purpose and what you want. And I promise you, when you pursue that, you may not make a lot of money in the beginning, or you may just not make a lot of money. But here's the thing. Do you want to be rich, or do you want to be fulfilled, and at times fulfilled and rich?
Yeah. And this is a topic for another day. And I hope I'm going to invite you to talk about the difference between being rich and wealthy. And those are two different terms. We're going to save that for later. And I think I'll look forward to, look how you're going to talk about that, being rich versus being wealthy. And the next topic has been bothering me for quite some time.
Sure.
Is being religious versus being spiritual. And I can tell you, first of all, if you can distinguish between those two terms, and I can tell you who I am before I, after you give you a definition of those two terms.
Religion is control, spirituality is freedom.
Freedom and control.
Control.
Okay,
Yeah.
I think I'm more spiritual than religious. If I have to be honest to myself about that, per your definition. And do you think it's good to be both, or is it good to be one or another? I know there's nothing wrong with being one another, but for specifically this discussion, we'll be talking about you. What is more important, spirituality or being religious?
Well, about me, I don't agree with religion, and I have to put that in context, because had I understood what it means to be spiritual, I probably would have given now obviously it was also my choice because of my pride and ego, but had I had wisdom, because I love God all the time since I was young, had I understood that I can have freedom in Christ and not be enslaved by man's controlling mechanisms, I would have accepted Christ a long time ago. So I believe I'm spiritual, and I believe the reason why I'm spiritual is because in my relationship with Christ, right? God is not looking for me to do A, B, C, D in order for him to love me. God loves me, and because he loves me, together we partner to not only advance his kingdom, but transform the world. Religion says, well, if you didn't do this, I didn't go to church last Sunday, I had some things that I was taking care of, right? Religion says you're going to hell. Spirituality says, as long as your motive is clear with God and you're seeking God first for every decision you're making, then imagine this. I'm going to give you a quick example. Athletes, right? Who play football on a Sunday or whatever they play on a Sunday. Aren't they ministering in that environment? So if they were to be in church on Sunday, maybe there's a whole bunch of people they could have been ministering in the environment they were in that they weren't able to. That's not to say I go to church. I went to church on Sunday. I loved, but I don't go to church to cross my, cross my T's and dot my I's. I go to church because of community, because of relationship. Religion says you have to, or else you're going to hell. And that's not what I read in the Bible when I came to know who God was.
Wow. I'm speechless. That's probably one of the best explanations I've ever heard about the spiritual and being religious. And thank you to you, Coach Deuce. Let's talk about, or you can tell us about how to join Coach Deuce family in East Africa. I know there's East Africa for a reason.
Yeah.
How do we join that group? And if someone is willing to come and on that page, how they can be able to join that page.
I will put a link on this post, and they can go. But here's the caveat: there's 3 questions you have to answer. I believe it's, why do you want to be part of this? I can't remember. Well, the 3 most important questions that gets you to ask yourself your motive behind and the value you hope to get and give to the community. So I'll put the link there. And just to put it out there, I've been blessed. I've connected with a lot of great people from Kenya and who, are there and here. And so one of the things I plan to do is to also bring on the journey other people who got great wisdom like yourself, Georgie, to also teach, and share tips and nuggets within that community. And it's free. Like,
I know. Yeah, it is free. And if you want to join, he's going to put the link below the comments here. And anytime you want to talk about anything, just feel free to call me. I can come on your page. Definitely. And, talk about it. And one thing you did not give is Instagram handle. If you want to give us the viewers about that before we close the broadcast.
At Coach Deuce, Coach D-U-S, Coach D-U-S.
Alrighty, Coach
Even
Deuce,
on the page, you can just look for it on the search at Coach Deuce. Everything on Twitter, Coach Deuce.
Yeah, I'm very grateful and very honored for you to come on my show, and I'm looking forward to meet you in person so we can talk about more and more topics. Anything about, the self growth, personal development. That's my passion. I like talking about that. I know I have talked to you over the phone, maybe a little bit over, maybe 1.5 hours, half hours.
Yeah.
And I'm looking forward to see you. Maybe you can come here in Dallas. I think this is where we have most Kenyans here in Dallas, in all over the United States.
Yeah.
These I have learned a lot from you for the last 2 weeks. That I was introduced to you by Lily Richards, thanks to her. And I think I don't have anything else to talk about these broadcasts. I feel enriched. I feel informed. I feel, transformed and inspired by your commentary and by your advice. And we appreciate you. And I'm going to give you the closing thoughts so we can, conclude these broadcasts.
Well, first of all, thank you so much, Georgie. You are one of my Christmas gifts. So it is so amazing that I met you, and how we just, our minds connect, because the Bible says iron sharpens iron, and I can see you as that one person that can sharpen me too. So I am now part of your Prudentials community. So it's not just I'm here and I've spoken, I've left. I'm looking forward to Wednesday and Sunday. And grateful for you to step out and serve. As far as final thoughts, I believe that we're in hopeless times right now, and there are a lot of people, and maybe many of you who are watching right now, that have a dream, that know what your purpose is, but have not stepped out and have not gone out and pursued it. I believe that your purpose is a gift, not just to your family, but your community, your country, and the world. And my encouragement to each of all of us is that we would relentlessly, every single day, live full, so that one day we can die empty. And I strongly believe and I'm done. I strongly believe, right, that the way we transform Kenya is not waiting on a politician or a famous person to make change. Is we make change by changing ourselves, by growing and adding value to one another, positivity, growing, learning from one another. So whatever you have, whatever gifts you have, whatever purpose you have, go out and bless somebody with it. And start off with your children, because your children are the leaders of Kesha.
Wow, that's great. we're gonna, finish this broadcast. This is 24th. We're looking to go to Christmas as tomorrow. I have one more show to do, and I'm gonna be sharing how I have grown, how I have learned to each and every speaker who have come on the Prudential Show. It's gonna be a special New Year's Eve where I'm gonna be sharing all that and honoring everybody who have come on the Prudential Show and how they have impacted me in my life. So stay tuned, and thank you for tuning to the Prudentials Show tonight. Coach Deuce, thank you so much. Say hi to your wife, and I'm hoping to meet you guys in the near future. For guys, right now, I'm heading to another party tonight. It's Christmas Eve, and I hope to see you next week. For now, thank you and have a Merry Christmas. Bye. All right.